Good morning. I'm Chaplain Clark, serving 3 Links Chapel, sharing a brief meditation this weekend, the first day of August. Let me say I miss you. It's good to talk to you today. The story today is about Jesus feeding 5,000 people, and I think you're familiar with it, so I'm not going to read it. Jesus had gone to the other side of the lake. He was tired of meeting with people all day. But like so often happened, the crowd found him, and they went to the other side of the lake and found him as well. It was evening. They were hungry after a long day following Jesus, and when they left home that day, I don't think they were expecting to be there so long, and so they came unprepared for supper. The disciples came to Jesus and they told him, "Send these people away. They're hungry. There's no convenience store out here in the desert. Maybe they should go home and fix something there." And what does Jesus suggest? "You give them something to eat," he said. "What? We aren't prepared to feed all these people. We checked around and we found only a little boy who had 5 loaves and 2 fish. What's that to such a big crowd?" So what does Jesus do? "Bring those small things to me," as if to say, let's see together if we might feed these people. So they did. They brought them, he blessed them, they distributed them, fed them all, and even were left with 12 baskets full of leftovers. When I reflect on this story, I think what was missing in the disciples was a sense of faith and imagination. God didn't mean to send these people away. Jesus was giving them what they needed most, just like God has given us what we need most in the world to give to the world. There's something about our God which tends toward excess and exuberance and extravagance and abundance in God's providing for the needs of the world, even as God did back in that time of Jesus, as Jesus was walking on the earth. The compassionate thing is not always the most practical thing. We're thrilled when the crowds come to listen to Jesus, but too often unsure, even skeptical. But when it comes to get the job done, we want people to come. But when it comes to healing the body or feeding the hungry or clothing the naked or tending to children or showing compassion and sharing time with aging people like yourselves, there's often some hedging and resistance. What we sometimes lack is creativity, imagination, even commitment and faith. Often we want somebody else to do it, and Jesus said, "You give them something to eat. You feed them. Work with what you've got," so they were fed. The Master did it with what he had. He blessed it and shared it. Of the little, much was made. Take heart, with Christ we can do more than we thought we could do. This is a miracle story in the life of Jesus, but I believe it's even more. It's an image, a symbol, an example. We all have needs. Having needs is a human story, what life is all about. We say things like, send those hungry people away, send those strangers back home, send those unwanted children somewhere else. But when these things are placed in the hands of Jesus, something happens. Despair turns to hope. Jesus takes what is given, blesses it, puts it back in the hands of the disciples. When the compassion of Jesus awakens our consciousness, it changes our willingness to be used in the hands of God for the mission of Christ in the world, and miracles happen. At whatever age we are called to trust the power of God to work wherever need occurs. I like what a writer by the name of Willa Cather said, "Where there is great love, there are always miracles." I like that. In that story, there was great love, and miracles happened, and people were fed. Remember that today. God bless you. I'm Chaplain Clark.